perception of abuse that a lot of persons have. You're probably coming from an abusive background, you have an abusive mentality, and you just believe that if she is not behaving, you
touch her a little.
Some
Some believe that women, it is when you beat them small that they behave well, they cooperate. Well. Yes,
that's a dangerous perspective for a man to have. There are situations that will remind you that you have a lot of time in the world. when you have some money in your account and you feel, I can't wait to start this business. I that 5 million in my account, I can't wait to start that business. By the time you've started the business and you've lost the capital,
you know
that is when you can wait. You realize that you can wait. If wishes were horses, they say beggars would ride. If it was possible to just know the very exact person you would marry, then life would be a lot easier. Now, those are the troubles we have in choosing our life partners. So on today's podcast, we are going to be dealing on
how to know if he or she is the right person for
you. You know, so relax. We're coming right back.
All right, you're welcome back to today's podcast. If you've not subscribed, please do so. Like and comment. Write your question on the comment section and we'll be attending to that. Thank you. Today we are going to be looking at how you can, some of the things that can help you know. We'll look at 5 points that you can use to know if that person is the one for you, the right person for you.
Yeah.
And number 1 on the list today, we are going to be looking at perspective check. Perspective check. You know, sometimes I want to feel like if you are able to get this, you've gotten almost 90% of what you need to check.
It's a way of finding an answer to the many questions that you're looking for.
Because a man's perspective of life and marriage will determine largely to whether that person will fit into you, whether you can roll with that person, whether you can do life with that person. All right, when we talk about perspective check, we are talking about what a person thinks about marriage. This is Africa, where our traditions and other things interferes with what God's plan truly is for marriage. Now, God is the originator of marriage, but we are brought up in different environments and
different background
and all of that,
cultures
and all of that, different parenting. So there is a lot to how a particular person think towards marriage. Now, when we talk about perspective check, you see guys that have been raised by a father that taught them that they should know that women have chicken brain, for example.
Yes.
Or you can't tell a woman everything. These are perspective. When you meet a guy that believes that you cannot tell a woman everything, or you don't tell a woman the truth, you tell women half truths. It's the person's perception.
Yes, they say that if you reveal all of your assets, if you reveal all of your wealth to a woman, it makes you a weak man. It makes the woman to, you know what they call see finish. You'll see you finish, and there will be nothing left again. Yeah.
Where you see men that believe that if you don't marry another woman to add to your first wife, or you don't have side chicks aside your wife, your woman will not behave well. You know, there are people that believe that your wife will keep misbehaving or doing shakara or behaving in a particular way until she knows that you have someone else other than her. It's the person's perspective. Where you have people that have been taught, ladies that have been taught that they trust man. A woman that you believe that you don't let your husband, they will teach a lady that you don't let your husband know everything that you have. When you make money, your husband should not know what you have. You can buy lands, you can build houses, and then your husband is not aware. These are perspective. You must check for you to know whether that is the person God wants for you. Beyond thus says the Lord. the person's perspective
It's
to marriage
very
is
important. It's
very
important.
important.
There are people that have this perspective also, that marriage is a fix-it-all institution.
Yeah,
That when I come into marriage,
to fix
everything just fixes itself.
Mm.
And you begin to see that the responsibility they are supposed to carry, they are beginning to transfer it to the prospective partner that they're going to have. Now, that's a perspective that you need to know. Know whether you're coming to carry a burden that is too heavy for you to carry. Because when the person's perspective is that marriage will fix it all, then you should know that you're coming.
That
you're
person
getting
cannot
into
work.
trouble.
Because marriage is work.
Mm.
Yes, you keep working. In perspective check, what does the person believe about divorce? There are people that believe that when we go in, if this thing works good, if it does not work, we back out. It's a perspective, it's a perception that the person is having. You cannot be thinking that if it does not work, we back out.
Yes.
It's a wrong mindset, and if you meet with such a person, you should watch it.
You should watch it.
Check perspective.
You should watch it. So it's wisdom to bring this kind of subjects as a discussion in the course of the relationship.
Yeah.
What do you think about divorce? What do you think? When things become difficult, what is your next? In what direction are you going to act? By the time you begin to ask these questions, what if you get it? The what ifs can help you to know the person's perspective about divorce. And once the person thinks that divorce is a possible way out, then one of these days in the marriage, the person is most likely going to use that door.
It will happen. When you meet a man that believes that I am the man, no one question my authority. You don't suggest things to me. You don't tell me what to do. He believes that when you suggest to him, you are controlling him. When you say a thing, a woman is meant to just come in and just do as I say. It's the man's perspective.
Yes,
these are things you must look out for.
Yes.
A man that believes that a man should never enter the kitchen. If you touch the plates, you are a weakling. If you ever cook for her, you are less than a man. And stuff like that.
Yes.
A woman that believes that.
I think it was Pastor Mildred Okonkwo that was talking about the perspective that you get to have. She gave an example of when you are in a room and fire erupts in the room. When you are aware that there is a door
behind,
the immediate action is to use the door.
Yeah.
But when you are in a room and fire erupts, and you know that there is no exit, the next action you would most likely take is to put out the fire.
Yeah.
You know, so that's a perspective. Does the person have a perspective of putting out the fire or finding the exit? It's a very important perspective.
Very, very important.
Yes.
You know, there are ladies that believe that we are all equal. That's not scriptural. Where you believe that both the man and the woman, we are equal. You shouldn't tell me what to do or how to live my life. And she believes that she should, even in marriage, they have equal rights. There's no head. We just do our thing. It's a mindset.
It's a mindset.
It's a perspective.
Actually.
So these are things we must look into carefully.
Yes. Another important perspective that people get to have is when I come into the marriage, if she's not meeting up, I fix her. If he is not meeting up, I'll fix him. Now that's a perspective, and that perspective can also affect your success in marriage, because you're not thinking about working things. You are a fixer. You're coming to fix things,
someone.
And that's a dangerous perspective to have about marriage.
So when we talk about perspective, we are talking about a wide range of things you need to look out for. There are things that perceptions cannot change easily. It's very difficult to think that, yes, this is this person's perception or perspective about marriage and life, and then you just think that you can maneuver and get into the whole thing. If the perception is wrong, you are likely going to have issues.
Yes, there's this other perspective or perception of abuse that a lot of persons have. You're probably coming from an abusive background. You have an abusive mentality, and you just believe that if she is not behaving, you
touch her a little. Some believe that women, it is when you beat them small that they behave well, they cooperate well. Yes,
that's a dangerous perspective for a man to have. You don't allow yourself get into the marriage and it becomes a prayer point. It is a perspective he has, and you cannot change it, so it's something that you should begin to check right now.
Or a lady that believes that if they don't beat her in between, romance will not be sweet.
Yes. A lady once told me, same after when he beats me, that's when the romance become very interesting.
He will not apologize, he will not take you out, and do
spoil you,
nice.
All of that.
It's a wrong perspective about marriage. So you must be careful about the person's perspective of marriage. All right, the number 2 thing we are going to be looking at is the time check. When you subject, you want to know if this person is the one for you.
Yes.
Sometimes beyond all of these things, like beyond all you have seen, subject it to a little time. People cannot pretend for a very long time. We are not saying you should do 10 years relationship, 8 years relationship, or 5 years relationship. But you cannot meet a person today and in the next 3 months or 6 months in a distance relationship, you are talking marriage. You don't know the person. Subject it to time.
I get to talk about the natural politics that gets to happen in relationships. When I genuinely like a lady and I come into a relationship with her, of course I'm going to be political. I'm going to do things that will make her like me and like me more, and I would want her to agree to marry me. So that political play is always going to be there. When a lady likes a man as well, that political play is going to be there. She would want to do stuff that would make her get an approval from his mother, from the prospective mother-in-law, from the man, from his siblings, and all of that. So how do you go? Some people say the guy is pretending or the lady is pretending. That's how it works. First of all, you try to be the best version of yourself, and it can be termed as pretense. So how do you get beyond that?
You need
time will reveal all of those. So subject the relationship to time, not unnecessarily long time.
But don't be in a hurry. Don't be
in a hurry. Subject it to time.
We've seen there was this lady now. We said, this is your relationship that you were just thinking just few weeks ago. You were feeling you don't want to really pull through this thing. You want to let it go. And the next time we turn is that you are getting married.
I want to marry him. I want to marry him. Can you?
Okay, that's okay.
Slow down.
And take it easy. Say it is December, it is this month. And then the next thing, shortly after marriage, is that I want out. I don't think I want this guy anymore. Now, anytime the thing is taking you faster than normal, and suddenly you are feeling like the flood is taking you. You are no longer in control. Match break. There's no crime in matching break. Allow it to go calmly and slowly in a way that you are still in control.
And don't
you still know what is happening.
Ever forget that it is your marriage, it is your life. No other person from outside is going to come and determine the pace at which you move. So if it is going too fast, whether you're the guy or you're the lady, slow things down.
Slow it down.
See, when slow it down. My sibling will always say that there are situations that will remind you that you have a lot of time in the world. when you have some money in your account and you feel, I can't wait to start this business. That 5 million in my account, I can't wait to start that business. By the time you've started the business and you've lost the capital,
you know
that is when you can wait. You realize that you can wait.
Of course, you don't have capital.
That is when you realize that patience is a universal virtue. By the time you have been locked in jail and you have 20 years jail term, that is when you realize that you actually have a lot of time in the world. So don't think you can't wait. You can actually wait, because time is your friend. Don't turn time into a foe.
That you are coming into relationship late does not mean it has to be now. After all, you've waited all the while.
You've waited. It's not an emergency anymore.
Just allow it so that you can know the person better.
Yes.
All right, that's number 2. Number 3, Mutuality check. We're talking recently, and someone said, a lady said, how many relationship have you entered? Say, which one? The one that I was doing with the person, or the one the person was doing with me, or the one that both of us were in it together? There's the one that you know, when you say mutuality check, you check when you come into a relationship or you are in a relationship, you must be sure that it's mutual. It might not start as mutual, especially with the ladies sometimes. Sometimes a man wants a relationship, and then you have seen that it's a good man, and you don't think it's a bad idea, and you decide to just give it a try, but not very sure. Probably at that time, the man was giving into the relationship much more. It's not a crime. But as the relationship progresses, you have to check, is it mutual? Are you alone in the relationship, or you are together in the relationship? So you have to be sure that it's mutual.
Yes, there are certain decisions that you need to make, especially the ladies, where you have not gotten into the person yet completely. You are still having issues with his height, you are having issues with his complexion, you are having issues with background, one or two things, and then, you know, like our mothers used to tell us, love grows. And it is true that there are times when you start the relationship, it begins to grow. But when eventually you start and you discover that you are not getting along, there's no crime in withdrawing, or a situation where you discover that you are the only one giving in the relationship and the other person is not reciprocating. It is time to give it a second thought, you know. So yes, it needs to be mutual. It needs to be mutual. You are not dating yourself, and you're not going to marry yourself. It takes two to tango, they say.
You just feel that you can just continue like that. At some point, if you get married that way, it will shock you that you were actually just alone, and then the marriage can truly be hell when you are just.
I remember this lady that got to me, and we were talking about her relationship. They were thinking about getting married, and I was asking, when last did he call you? Said like 3 weeks ago.
Ooh, and that's the relationship.
Said, when last did he text you? That's over a month. Ooh. I said, and how often have you called him? She said, almost every day. And he has not. I said, you have been in this relationship alone. It is time you've stepped out. You know, so there has to be mutuality.
You cannot say it is God's will for me, and yet you are alone in the relationship. God does not intend that in your marriage you should do it alone. You must do it with someone. So check for mutuality.
Let me take us a little back to this issue of perspective, this myth that a lot of people get to have about the will of God. The will of God. Now, these are perspectives that people get to have, that he is the will of God for me, or a prophet must have spoken to you, a pastor must have told you that he is God's will for you, and a lot of bad things, wrong things are happening in this relationship. And because you have a certain perspective about the will of God, you feel helpless, you feel you cannot step out because this is the one soul mate for me. If I miss this person, then I've lost it in life. Now that's a perspective that you need to check and work on. To be sure that you don't get into the wrong relationship.
All right. The other thing, that's number 4, that we need to look out for is compatibility.
All right.
How compatible are you? You know, incompatibility, we might be talking about that elaborately some other time. But today we are just going to be mentioning that.
Yes.
Compatibility is quite vast. You need to be sure that you are compatible intellectually, spiritually. Yes, when we say spiritually, it looks like after all, she's going to church and I'm going to church. I mean, not all Christians, but that's not so. Compatibility, you can be spiritually non-compatible, you can be socially not compatible. So you need to be sure that you are compatible. There should be a compatibility check.
Yes, there
medically are compatible. Different ways.
Medically is very important. Very important. Like she said, we are going to take our time in another episode to talk about compatibility but compatibility is very important. The fact that both of you are believers does not mean that you are automatically compatible.
Not
Yeah,
at all.
it is one aspect that needs to be checked. So if you're both believers, that is good, but that you are both believers does not mean that you must marry, or you can just marry any believer. You talked
You
about
can-
intellectual
yeah,
compatibility.
yeah, you cannot
Yes,
go-
you are a PhD holder, and you say you want to marry a primary school leaver.
Someone
You
that
know,
cannot probably read and write.
It
It
you see, that
becomes difficult.
incompatibility issue is going to become a challenge. So there is no need to go into all of that trouble.
Yeah.
So you just know if he or she is the one by simply just intellectually. Before we even take a step from here, we need to check whether at least intellectually
You can
we
even
can
blend
go
at
anywhere.
all. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, number 5 on our list is accountability check. You know, marrying a person that is not accountable to anyone or does not respect anyone. Nobody, a person that no one can summon, a person that nobody can talk to, is not a very healthy thing to do, because you yourself eventually might not be able to handle it. I met a woman some years back and got something from them, and I needed to change it. And her husband, I got to the shop and needed to change the shirt because it was not okay. And the husband
Actually,
insisted.
it was a shirt that you bought for me. It was a gift for me. So I remember that story very, very
and
well.
I truly felt for that lady that day. When I got to that store, and they were all okay with, they even told me that morning that if it's not okay, I told them I was buying it as a gift, and if it's not okay, I was going to come and change. They said it was okay. But by the time I was coming back to change that shirt, I met the husband. The woman was there, the boys were there, and then that man said no, that all these shirts are no longer the same price with that shirt, and a whole lot of other things. The boys were surprised, the wife was surprised. They wished they could help, but they knew that no one could talk to him. It got so bad, and the woman felt, she just kept quiet. And the moment her husband turned or stepped out of that place, she just called me aside quickly and said, take money, add it and give him. And I felt, this is a husband that somebody's daughter got married to. A man, if you cannot plead with your husband as a wife, you can do nothing. I think it's a very dangerous place to be.
Yes.
There are people you can't even report to anyone because they don't respect their pastor. They don't respect, you can't even talk to their parent. Nobody. There's nobody, then it's a dangerous place to be.
It's a dangerous place to be.
Yeah.
So one of the things, if he or she is the one, is that the person has an authority over him.
Yeah.
Especially for the man. The man has an authority over him. Someone, especially a spiritual authority.
Yeah.
Somebody that you can go and talk to and say, this is how this man is behaving. Please talk to him. And you know that with a call or a summon, he has to appear, and that he can say yes sir to that person. That's a very important thing to look out for, to know that this man is someone you can marry. Otherwise, be very careful.
Yeah.
Be very careful.
Especially for the ladies.
Yes.
A man that does not understand submission, that has never submitted, you want to submit yourself to the man. He does not understand what it means.
One of the most important qualities of a leader, for a leader to be a good leader, he must be a good follower.
Yeah.
You should have at least followed well before you can lead someone. If you must have submitted before you demand submission from someone.
If not, you'll be unreasonable.
Yes, you'll be in fact, you don't even know what it takes the follower to submit.
Yeah.
So it's an important
don't submit to God, don't submit to man, don't submit to anyone. So you see that you submitting to such a person as your own authority
is dangerous.
Is going to be a serious issue. And there are ladies too that submit to no one. Yes, they had parents, but they never submitted to their parents. They didn't submit to anyone.
Yes, and you as the man is deceiving yourself.
That she will submit to you.
Those are some of the politics we talk about in relationships. She can just do one or two things to ensure that the marriage happens and all of that. Yeah. But It's a simple check that she
Very
cannot
simple.
submit to her parents means she cannot submit to any other
Yeah.
person, because before you got married to her, one sure authority that you knew over
Yes.
her,
Her parents or her guardian.
yeah, her parents, her guardians, and then if she attends a church, her
Her
pastor
pastor.
should be an authority over her. Now you save yourself a lot of work by simply checking how she submits to these authorities over her.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, it's very interesting to know that a lot of the time guys meet ladies that are like that. No submission to parents, to pastor, to elder ones, to anyone, and they just believe she's stubborn, but when it comes to me,
To me,
She's not like that.
She's not like that.
she's not like that. You just know that that's a danger going somewhere to happen.
Yeah.
If she cannot submit to anyone and then she's submitting to you,
just
it
wait.
is not real.
Just wait.
You
That
will
is
soon
why
be
we
like
say
the
it should be.
others.
This thing should be subject to time.
Yeah.
It should be subjected to time. Over time, you're going to know. Are you that truly that special? That
You
for
are,
them-
because she's disrespecting everyone for you,
Yeah,
and you are happy.
And you are happy.
Yes.
Not knowing that you are the
Disrespecting
next in line
everyone to please
to
you,
please you.
and you believe that that's
Yeah.
okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All
So,
right, we want to appreciate you for staying tuned to this time. We have come to the end of today's episode, and I want you to know that next time we're coming with something better.
Yeah.
You know, stay tuned, like, share,
and
subscribe to this
Yeah,
channel.
click that subscribe button.
Very
For free.
important.
It's for free.
It's for free,
Yeah.
actually. It's for free, actually. Put your questions in the comment section. We're going to be looking at them in subsequent editions.
All right.
God bless you. See you next time.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
And they will be handled.
And we're going to in the comment section, put your comments in the put your questions in the comment section.